As part of a summer school exchange program, 10 Tibetan students led by 2 staffs and 1 volunteer parent are on an education tour organized by the Department of Education, the Tibetan Canadian Cultural Centre, also known as Kangchong Chedeling, and the Tibettv School this month. And we are pleased to have Education Coordinator Mrs Woeser Lhamo and 2 of the students, Kunga Palden and Namdol Kunga Palden, joining us today for this conversation. We will be talking more on the students' experience with this education tour and preservation of Tibetan language and culture in the West. Trust and welcome to our program. So, Woeser, to start with, can you introduce in little detail about the Tibetan Canadian Cultural Centre and how does it work?
So to begin with, Tibetan Canadian Cultural Centre, which I would from now on refer as TCC, was formally proposed and was blessed the name Kangchong Chedeling by His Holiness the Dalai Lama in the year 2004. And later on October 17, 2007, the center was acquired and established. And right now, I would say Tibetan Canadian Cultural Centre is a very vibrant community center, and I would acknowledge, taking this opportunity, I would acknowledge my gratitude to His Holiness for his blessings to the center and to all the former presidents, board members, volunteers, donors, community members. It's because of all your effort and hard work we are what we are today. So thank you all. And at the center, we run a variety of events and programs, very inclusive community center. And we have my role in the community center right now is education coordinator. But my role is not just limited to the educational programs. We have a president and 14 board members, and we all work together collectively. We are all volunteers. Our term is 2 years term. And we are all working on a volunteer basis, and we implement variety of programs, very inclusive and extensive programs. And for instances, our programs are like we have a Sunday program which is known as Kids Club. The focus for that group is 0 to 4 years old. We have 2 facilitators, and we have 3 sessions for that. And we have 15 students, like kids, in each group, and there is a volunteer as well. So at the moment, that program is a very successful program. This program helps introducing our religion, culture, language at a very young age at the community level. It helps in transitioning them to the community Tibetan language and cultural schools at the center. And the other program that we have is Seniors Lakar program that is run every Wednesdays. Even though the program is supported by the TCC, but it's been mainly run by volunteers every Wednesday. And many seniors participate in this program. The program begins with a light lunch, breakfast, sorry, my mistake. And there are Buddhist introduction classes, religious programs, prayer sessions. There are volunteers who run the yoga classes, yoga sessions for the seniors, and then also they serve fresh lunch for the seniors on that day. So this 2 particular program I mentioned is how to show that how extent our inclusive program is at the community level. Yeah. And if I have to go on and then mention our program, it's it's going to take a long time. So I think that's it. Yeah.
I'm sure this intensive program that you have at the center and thriving as well at the same time. So talking about this tour, Namdol and Kungala, so this is your first time here in Dharamshala, right? And from the start of this education tour, you started from the Tibetan school, right? So, and you're also staying there at the moment, currently staying there for last 2 weeks or so. So, can you tell us how was the overall experience of staying there, attending the class along with the students of Tibetan school? Yeah, how was the experience so far?
So far, it's been really fun. Obviously, there are some challenges adjusting, but like the people there are very kind. My roommates are really nice to me. They treat me really well. Some challenges I would say is missing my family, and the teaching style I found was very different from Canada. But otherwise, I would say it's very fun. I love this place. If I could, I would stay here, but I don't miss my parents too much.
What different sort of like style of the teaching style that are you talking about?
Well, Canada is much more modernized, and India has definitely a more stricter style of learning, but I really like that. I think it's really got me on track with my work. So that's what maybe my biggest difference was for me.
Okay, and what about you, Kongal?
So first of all, I would like to acknowledge Tibetan School for taking us in and having us for the 2 weeks that we've been here. And I would just like to say that it's been a really great experience. I've learned a lot throughout these 2 weeks, and they have various subjects such as Tibetan, Greek, English, and others. And you don't learn just Tibetan there, you learn a variety of things. And I think that's great.
And what made you come to India during your summer vacation this year? And how did you make this decision? Kungala, you can.
I think I made this decision because during the summer break, once school is finished in Canada, you often have a lot of free time and you're not really sure what to do with it. And I thought coming to India and learning all these things would be a great use of this month that we stay here.
Mm-hmm. What about you?
I think it was the desire to learn more Tibetan and more Tibetan culture, and that's what I've been doing, and I really like it.
Mm-hmm. And in what ways such kind of education tour helped the Tibetan reciting in the Western countries?
Before I go to answer your question, I would like to give a brief background on how we started up this program. So the Mewon Sugla Pedin Lopta Summer Intensive Learning Program was initially an idea proposed by our principal, Tibetan Language and Culture School principal, Mr. Dejan Dorjila, which was thoroughly discussed and brought into action with the support of a huge support from TCC, Tibetan Canadian Cultural Centre president and board members in many ways. And along with that, we did get a good support from parent council members, the Tibetan language teachers, and obviously the students, and then the participating parents, because of if they are not participating, this wouldn't have been implemented so far. So a huge thank you to everyone from this opportunity. I would like to say thank you for trusting us and then sending your kids here along with us. And going back to your question, I would say the students here had the opportunity to explore, enhance, to learn Tibetan language, culture, and heritage in many ways, not just through the book or classes, but going into the community and coming to CTA today and throughout this week was a good exploration for them to learn and to observe. I strongly believe that students learn through observation. Even though we might feel they look tired, they are not learning or listening, but they are observing every second, so that's how they learn. So in many ways, they have gained a lot of knowledge in terms of learning Tibetan language, culture, heritage, be it a Tibetan personality. We always say Tibetan people are kind, compassionate, and helpful. So they have all had this first-hand witness, this experience.
What are your focus area of development in a student?
Honestly, like I haven't come to a conclusion that, oh, they would have done it differently like that. But throughout this journey, we had a lot of challenges, be it a long journey or adjusting here and all that. But we all take it as a learning curve, and we all look at it as a positive learning experience. So I think, but we will definitely sit down at the end of this program someday and then do a debrief on that and then plan for the next group whoever they will be joining next year. We are looking forward to continue this program. Thank you.
Thank you. And Namdol, can you tell us what's the most fun part about learning from this education tour?
Probably the most fun part about learning from here is being with the people that are coming with us. It's really fun. I've got to know them so well. Some of these people I didn't even know existed until I met them, and that's probably the most fun part for me.
And what about you, Kungala?
I think that the most fun part for me is staying in the hostel. As you know, the Tibetan school is a boarding school, and many of us, such as the kids that came with us, we stay in the hostel, and it's a very fun experience that we can bond with and learn a lot from.
Namdol, also, I'd like to ask, when you go back from this tour, by end of this month, right? This is a month,
Yeah.
1 month education tour. So when you go back home, what would you tell your friends about this education tour, and what are the key takeaways that you can remember?
I would tell my friends that they should probably do it next year as well, because it's just been that amazing for me, and I believe it could also help them a lot too. My biggest takeaway is to be more grateful for what I have, because up till now I've never realized how much I needed to appreciate my parents, because it's very hard being away from them.
That's so sweet. What about you, Kungala?
Well, I think when I come back, I'll tell my friends, especially my Tibetan friends, to attend in the following year, because it's been great, like Namda said. And I think you can learn a great deal from here. And just like being in this environment, you can meet so many new Tibetan people. I think it's excellent.
Thank you. So, Gila, Vasila, so these are my questions for this conversation. But if you do you have any important information that you'd like to add?
I would like to extend thanks to the people who have contributed to this program. I did mention earlier, but I would like to give a big shout out to our Sunday School Tibetan Language and Culture School principal, Mr. Dejen Dojila, who has proposed this initial program, and because of him and the support from everyone, we were able to have this great opportunity. So thank you, Lobjila, and you are an asset to us. And I also thank our president and board members for supporting us and believing in us. And I would also like to thank Mewon Pedin Sugla Lopta, the principal, and all the staff members. They are very welcoming and very helpful. Also to the Sambora Chigablekung office, the administrators and the staff, directors, everyone was very helpful. Of course, to the DOE staff, Sundula, who has been taking us around for the last few days. And thank you for having us here. And through this mode, we hope that the experience that Namdol and Kunga had shared would inspire many more students to join a trip like this. And I urge the people outside there in the Western communities to please implement programs like this, so then our youngsters will have the opportunity to experience this program, and then they can learn through that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's very lovely said. So, and it's nice to have you here in our studio today at Tibettv, and lovely talking to you. And I wish you all the best for the upcoming days in this tour.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. With this, we have come to the end of today's episode of In Conversation with Tibettv. Thank you so much for watching.